So today I'm going to show you how I make my Greek yogurt at home. There's a few ingredients you're going to need. The yogurt that you make at home is really just way tastier than any one that you're going to buy at the store. It's a lot of fun and it's going to save you a few bucks. So what you're going to need is going to be a half a gallon of milk. I'm using this organic brand. You don't have to use organic, but if I'm going to make my own yogurt at home and I'm going to go through the trouble of doing it, I want something really good for me and that tastes really good. So it's a half a gallon. You're going to need some Greek yogurt as a starter, and I'm using this brand. I find that this is actually the brand that has the least sugar, you know, just very clean, and it's the plain yogurt, okay? There's no flavoring added. Make sure that whatever yogurt you're using does contain these ingredients, which should read live active cultures, okay? That's really important. So you're going to need about a quarter cup of that, and the full recipe and instruction is going to be at the bottom of the video. You're also going to need a glass container. Make sure that it's a big one so that it holds a good amount of liquid, because it's going to be about 8 cups of milk. And it doesn't have to be tall like this, you know, just any regular glass container that you have that's big enough will do. You're going to need a large pot similar to this one, or just a large pot that holds a good amount of liquid. You're also going to need, very important, a thermometer. And this is called like a candy thermometer or a frying thermometer. This is really important. I got mine at Kohl's. It's very inexpensive. You can get it, I've seen it at Target. And also, I'm sure you can get it online, like on Amazon or something. And, you know, it's really something that you're going to need. You can't skip on that. You're going to need a spatula, okay, to make sure your milk doesn't, you know, stick to the bottom of the pot. So what we're going to do, which is what I'm doing right now, is I'm bringing the milk up to temperature, okay? You have to bring this milk up to a certain temperature, which is 180 degrees, okay? So once you put your milk in the pot, you want to automatically put your thermometer in so that you can measure the temperature. You don't want to put it on a full boil or like on high. You want to put it on a medium setting. So your stovetop should be on medium. And so the milk is going to come up to temperature gradually, all right? So this is going to take a little bit of time. You have to kind of babysit it. You have to stand in front of it and watch it and make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot, and make sure that the temperature doesn't go over what it should be. Really important. So 180 degrees. What's going to happen is once it reaches 180 degrees, you're going to immediately transfer it into your glass container, okay, or into your glass bowl that you're going to use for this. Make sure that all of your utensils are really nice and clean. Once you transfer it there, then you're going to want to have the temperature of the milk to go down to anywhere between 105 and 110 degrees, okay? This is really important. This is really the most work that you have to do with this recipe. Just kind of make sure that your temperatures are correct in order for this to work. So again, once you transfer it in here, you're going to need to let it cool down to around 108 to 110 degrees. And you're going to do that, of course, by bringing you're putting your thermometer in there to measure that. In the meantime that this milk is cooling down in your glass container, you are going to turn your oven on to the lowest setting. My lowest setting is 145. Mine doesn't go any lower than 145 degrees. Ideally, the temperature that you want the oven to be at is 110 degrees. That's the temperature that it should be, but most ovens are not going to go down that low. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your oven at the lowest temperature, and you're just going to go ahead and let it come up to that temperature in the meantime that your milk is going down to 110 degrees, okay? Once your oven is on, you're leaving your oven on. Once your milk has been cooling for about 15 minutes, because it's going to take about 30 minutes for it to cool down, you're going to turn off your oven, okay? And this is if your oven can't go down any lower to 110, like me. You're going to turn off your oven, leave it closed. You don't want to open it. And then you're just basically going to leave your oven as it is for now. You're not going to do anything to the oven. Just leave it turned off. Don't open the door of the oven. Once your milk comes down to 110 degrees, like we're saying, or between 105 to 110, then you're going to add your 1/4 cup of the Greek yogurt, or of the starter, okay? Greek yogurt is going to be the starter for this. Make sure you mix it really well with a whisk or a spatula. I like to use a whisk, okay? Make sure you do that. And take the thermometer out of the glass container once it's reached the 110 degree mark. What you're going to do next is you're going to cover the top of your container, of your glass container, with either plastic wrap or aluminum foil, nice and tight. And you're also going to put on top of that, you're going to put a kitchen towel. Okay, so this is what you want it to look like. Just to give you an idea, you're going to put a kitchen towel over it and just leave it on. Okay, and at that point, you're ready to transfer it into the oven that should already be, you know, about 110 degrees because you've turned it off and let it cool a little bit. And so basically that's where your work ends pretty much for this recipe. You're just going to let it sit in the oven at that temperature for between 10 to 12 hours. Now what I do is every couple of hours, unless I'm doing it overnight, but every couple of hours, if it's during the day and I'm home, I turn the oven up to that 145 degree, which is the lowest my oven will go, for about a few minutes, just maybe about 5 or 6 minutes, and then I turn it back off. And I don't open the oven at any time. So this will kind of speed up the process a little bit, so your yogurt will be done in less time. Not a lot less time, but maybe about 8 hours instead of that 10 to 12 hour mark. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and my milk is almost at 180 right now. I don't know if you can see. It's almost at 180. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the stove off and proceed to the next step. And when I come back again, I'm going to show you the result of actual yogurt. And then I'll show you one more step that you need to do to make it Greek yogurt, which is that thick consistency. Okay, well, I'll see you then. So here's the finished product. This is my yogurt. This took approximately about 8 hours. And as you can see, it's completely done. There's some water on top, which is what they call the whey, and we're gonna discard that. And at this point, you know, you can discard that, and this is your yogurt. If you want it to be thicker, which is what I'm wanting to do, which is what we call Greek yogurt, then all you're gonna do is strain it. I'm gonna do here. And you can see it's quite a good amount of yogurt. So you can eat it like that. Or you can drain it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit, and this is just a colander that I have under this, and this is a bowl, and this is a clean cloth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and let it sit there and strain. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and maybe about every hour, or even just overnight because it's a big bowl, then the excess liquid is going to stay on the bottom or the whey, and we can get rid of it, and then we'll have a really nice thick yogurt. But as you can see, the yogurt is finished.